Alrighty, welcome back to the Son of a Boy Dad podcast. We are here live from Colorado, for I have made a massive mistake. Roan and I recorded an episode earlier this week, and I forgot my laptop in New York, and I'm going into the woods tomorrow morning. So I am here in Colorado. It's going to be probably just a quick episode, probably 30 minutes, maybe 40 if we're lucky. We are joined today by the infamous Bo.
Hello.
He's not going to talk much. He doesn't have much to say, so I'm really going to be steering the ship today. Pretty much, we're here. Put the microphone up to your face.
All right, got
it? As soon as we start recording, it's going to be, you're shutting down already?
No, I'm here. I'm ready to go.
All right. He gave me a list of topics we're not allowed to speak of. Doesn't want to be embarrassed and doesn't want...
Yeah. Well, I'm just happy to be on the pod. I'm looking forward to this being a regular occurrence.
You're finally making your big entrance into the content game, which is something that you've wanted your entire life.
Yeah, no, it really is. And I've just been waiting for that big break. They say that success is when opportunity meets preparation. And I feel like here we are. So
yeah,
I'm ready to do this.
I'm noticing you're cupping your hands around the microphone a lot, which I'm going to need you to not do exactly what I'm doing. See how I'm holding it?
Okay. Yeah.
This could be an audio disaster. This could honestly never even go out. If this goes out, it was a full-on miracle. We're recording this with two separate phones pointed at our face using voice memo. And I'm going to work my beautiful editing magic and get this fixed. So pretty much that's all I've got for now. But we're here with Bo. Bo, we've talked about a lot on the podcast before, and just a funny guy, like a clown.
Yeah, I love to tell jokes. Love to make people laugh.
Bro, this is coming off like this is like an NPR interview.
Yeah, well, I've seen myself as sort of a comedian just in real life, not
just
really
in real time,
comedian on stage. Funniest guy in the friend group, which helps a lot.
What does that help with? Go into more detail about what that helps with.
Just with group morale, I can always rile a laugh out of the friends and just always have a good time, even when things look bleak.
Yeah.
On our trip this week, I'm sure there will be times when it's pouring down rain and we're soaking wet and all we're going to have is our jokes, pretty much.
Yeah, so. See, your phone's rubbing up against your shirt, which I'm not liking. Are you good? Are we doing well?
Yeah. I feel good.
You seem to have... Are you freezing up a little bit?
No, I feel good. I feel pretty comfortable. I've listened to many podcasts, so excited to be on the other side of it.
Yeah, millions of people are going to hear this.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure this will be one of your biggest episodes, probably.
It probably will. People have been clamoring, scratching and clawing for the Bo episode. This is probably not how they imagined it to go. They probably imagined that we were going to be in studio recording with some cameras and better audio, but instead, they're getting the full experience, just the phones and just raw conversation.
Yeah.
So this has been a pretty solid introduction.
This is the deep tracks here.
If anything, this episode is going to show how much Roan means to this podcast, because I can't guide a conversation for my life. But let's get into some funny topics. The debate. Let's talk politics.
Yeah, I'd love to.
You watched the debate?
I watched about
10 minutes of it.
10 minutes, yep. And then I switched to another channel on my TV, a channel that just came on the television on its own, called Kitchen Nightmares. And that channel plays the show Kitchen Nightmares nonstop, 24/7. And they really do a good job. Very few commercials, mostly just Gordon Ramsay and his Kitchen Nightmares show. And I watched that show for about 3 hours after the 10-minute debate viewing, and that was great.
That sounds good. Really that sounds very fun. Sounds like a good time. I've never watched Kitchen Nightmares. I did watch the debate though. I know a lot of people have been asking to hear about my political views, so let's get down to it. Not good, rough go for both, one more than the other.
Seems like you're kind of leaning towards one direction, though.
Look, I'm not a Trump guy, but I think it was pretty apparent that Trump did a lot better than Biden. Biden looked like an old man.
I agree.
And it was sad. I mean, it wasn't really that funny. I think everyone tunes into those debates and they're looking for like a good time. Like they want to laugh because everyone's expecting Trump to go in and just really lay it down. But at the end of the day, Trump, I don't think he really needed to because Biden was kind of he was burying himself. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, our friend Peters and I were discussing earlier, Sun Tzu once wrote in The Art of War, do not interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake.
Very true. I've never thought about it like that.
Trump must have read that passage prior to the debate because he did not interrupt his opponent while he was making those many mistakes.
Did you watch any of the videos of Trump going into his like green room after the debate ended? And it's just him and he walks in smiling and he just gives the thumbs up and there's like 1 million people on his staff clapping.
Yeah, I bet he had a good night. I bet they partied.
Yeah, I don't know if he's much of a partier though. They say that he doesn't do any drugs or drink at all. But I think he did. No, maybe he just doesn't drink because everyone says that I remember I heard a while ago that he used to just do lines of Sudafed.
Yeah, I feel like the people that are on his level that don't drink or do drugs party in much weirder ways.
Yeah, that's when you get into the real freak shit. That's when it's never good to have a guy. If you're like a guy who parties a lot but you're sober, it usually means that you also do sex crimes.
Yeah, you're involved in some groups and circles.
That's like when you have to go to like sex shows. Like you can't. Strip clubs don't do it for you anymore. You got to go to this shit where it's like spiders are crawling out of vaginas and stuff.
Yeah, like you could probably make a True Detective season about what those kind of people do.
That's like David Dobrik. David Dobrik was like the party guy, but then everyone found out that he was sober and he was just feeding alcohol to like children and being like, let's all get fucked up. That's like, you're having a party tonight.
Yeah, we are. We're having a party.
Well, we don't have. You didn't need to respond to that. I was just stating that you're having a party, but you're having a party. You're having a party tonight, and I'm gonna be sober, and it's gonna be that would be like if I was there and I was like going around people being like, you need another shot. That's what you need another. Like just trying to get everyone super fucked up, so that I was like the puppet. I was like I was the master behind the puppets.
Yeah,
controlling everybody. I
kind of figured that's what you were going to do.
No, that's not really my vibe. I'll probably sit in the corner next to Peters and just be like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Well, then the worst part about it is that we're sleeping on your couch and then there's going to be people here and we're leaving early in the morning. So I guess I'm going to have to just hop into my sleeping bag. I'm going to have to hop into my sleeping bag while there's people in the kitchen, like drinking.
Yeah. And you definitely have a handicap on you because you're not going to be drinking. So it's going to be a lot harder for you to fall asleep with all these people. I know. Here.
I should maybe I'll just take some melatonin or something. Except when you take melatonin and you can't sleep, that's when shit gets real dark. Yeah. That's when you're like, I guess it's just not possible for me. I tried my best, but I guess I just don't have it in my bag.
Yeah. And I'll just let this out just for the record. I did offer Harry, I said he could sleep in my bed with me. Completely heterosexually. Just two dudes sharing a bed. But I guess that was a little too weird for him. So
nah, it's not really my style. I'm like, I would do it if we slept sideways.
Yeah.
But you don't do that. That's not your thing. You want to.
I think that would be weird.
I think that would be much better. Or at least if we set up the barrier.
Yeah.
The barrier of pillows. Because I know it's not like I'm not a gay man and I don't think you are either. So it's not like we're going to sleep in the same bed and all of a sudden we're just going to start fucking the shit out of each other. It's not like it's been 23 years of tension building up to that moment.
No.
But I still don't want to wake up and have like my arm be around you or some shit. I'm super
Yeah,
straight.
I don't think that would happen.
Yeah. In New York, we say pause when that happens. Is your phone off?
No, I'm still alive. I'm still recording.
Alrighty, let's talk about ButcherBox. Get incredible deals on premium cuts from ButcherBox. Deals this good are hard to come by at the grocery store. With ButcherBox, easily find high-quality meat and seafood you can trust. Get 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork-raised, crate-free, and wild-caught seafood. You can get customized box plans delivered right to your doorstep with free shipping. ButcherBox is humanly raised, no antibiotics, no added hormones. And there's a variety of high-quality cuts and amazing value. At an amazing value. Get exclusive member deals, receive recipe, inspiration, tip, and more with ButcherBox. Sign up for ButcherBox today by going to butcherbox.com/boydad and use code BOYDAD at checkout and enjoy your choice of bone-in chicken thighs, top sirloins, or salmon in every box for an entire year, plus you get $20 off. Again, that's butcherbox.com/boydad. Use code BOYDAD. Alrighty, let's talk about Game Time. Game Time is the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Did you know you could get tickets right now to see Kevin Hart at the Prudential Center in New Jersey for only $40? You could go see Janet Jackson at the Prudential Center for $18. I mean, those are some great deals, and you can only get those deals with Game Time. You shouldn't have to worry when to buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets to all of sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. They have flash deals for sudden discounts, zone deals when you're feeling flexible, and their lowest price guarantee means that if you can find the same seats for less anywhere else, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time is the best place for last-minute seats, up to 60% off your favorite events. What are you waiting for? I'm going to go buy those tickets to see Kevin Hart right now. I've always wanted to see Kevin Hart, and I'm going to go do that right now. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BOYDAD for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Alrighty, let's talk about Babbel. Babbel. Be a better you in 2024 with Babbel, the science-backed language learning app that actually works. Don't pay hundreds of dollars for private tutors or waste hours on apps that don't even really help you speak the language. Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons are handcrafted by over 200 experts to help you start speaking a new language as little as 3 weeks. Babbel's tips and tools are approachable, accessible, rooted in real-life situations, and delivered with conversation-based teaching, so you're ready to practice what you've learned in the real world. Babbel has over 16 million subscriptions sold, plus all of Babbel's 14 award-winning language courses are backed by their 20-day money-back guarantee. Here's a special limited-time deal for our listeners right now. Get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/sun. Get up to 60% off. That's a huge discount, 60% off at babbel.com/sun, spelled BABBEL.com/sun. Rules and restrictions may apply. I wonder what it is that makes men not even want to sleep with their bros on some when they're even just straight style.
Well, I don't get it because it doesn't bother me at all. I went on.
I think I just like to have my own space while I'm sleeping, so I think I'm just going to set up tent outside.
Yeah, you sure could. I'm looking forward to tonight being the last really good night of sleep
before we head out into the jungle.
Yeah,
into the wilderness.
Yeah, because that's going to be a lot of.
I thought about getting earplugs, honestly, for.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a lot of waking up at hours
where you shouldn't be
woken up.
Yeah, 4:30, wide awake at 4:30.
Yeah,
wide awake at 2:30 because we're gonna end up going to bed early as fuck. We're gonna end up going to bed at like 10 p.m., which I never do. I go to bed at 4 a.m. So it's really gonna fuck up my sleep schedule. But I don't know. I'm not super worried about it. I will say I'm worried about it because when I live, I live in New York, and then you go and when I go back to like the suburbs to visit my family, I have a hard time falling asleep there because it's just so much. It's just nothing. It's just empty sound, just white noise. So sometimes I'll play city sounds on my phone to fall asleep. City rats have to do that like me.
Yeah. I used to fall asleep listening to podcasts. Actually.
Yeah. This is
every night.
They call that a paradox.
Yes. And I don't do that anymore. Now I can just fall asleep on my own. But for a few years there, I was just falling asleep to podcasts.
That's good. That's good shit right there. This is good. This is good podcasting. People are gonna like this.
Okay, good.
Yeah. What kind of pod? You were a big Joe Rogan guy.
I was really big
friend
into
of the
Joe
podcast.
Rogan. Yeah, not because of Joe, more because of the guests.
Well, don't go and slander Joe's good name like that. The whole goal of my career is to eventually get on his podcast.
Well, yeah. Well, in that case, Joe was great. He still is.
He's good. Joe's a good guy, and he
but
means
it's
well.
just a breadth of guests, I would say. Everyone from musicians to writers, scientists, adventurers. Just really a breadth of knowledge on that podcast, and it introduced me to a lot of other different avenues I wanted to learn more about. And yeah, it was kind of, and I think it was preceded by one evening, me, you, Peters, and I think a few of our other friends, we were on FaceTime or something, and we fell asleep all together while talking to each other on the phone.
Oh, cut that. I spaced out for a second. I don't know how we got from Joe Rogan to all of us falling asleep on the phone together.
I don't know. That was really comforting.
What was comforting about that? Oh, because that
like,
was the first time you ever fell asleep without a podcast?
No, this was before I fall asleep.
Oh, so that was the start of your falling asleep to other people.
It's also a family thing. Like my dad falls asleep listening to Bob Ross every night.
Yeah, that makes sense though, because Bob Ross is very comforting. Is Bob Ross white? Is that people are saying that he's a white man?
He is.
I was always under the impression that he was a black man because of his fro.
No, not at all. He was a Vietnam veteran.
Is he Jewish?
Cool. I do not know what his religious affiliation is, but he's a wonderful man, regardless.
All right, let's get into the interview segment of the podcast. So we're joined by Bo. We're going full NPR right now.
Yeah,
this is no longer a comedy podcast. This is
what's the difference?
Well, typically, like when I would be with my good friends, my best friends, Ron and Francis, we would be discussing like funny shit, like fucking bitches and like drinking and doing drugs. And right now we're just going really like deep into how we fall asleep at night.
It's mellow, yeah.
and definitely the tone of this episode is a lot more like it feels like this might be the first time. If you never had listened to the podcast before and you listen to this episode, you'd probably think it was the first time me and you have ever met each other in person.
Well, I've actually never listened to an episode of the podcast, so I don't know what it sounds like.
Really, all we talk about is Delta. We talk about Delta Airlines for most of the episodes, and then pedophilia for the other half. So we could get into that. We could talk about: are you up to date on the Dr. Disrespect situation?
I am not. No.
Do you know Dr. Disrespect?
He's a
Twitch streamer,
yeah,
and he's the guy that wears that like red jumpsuit, and he's got the wig on.
Yep.
Apparently, he was talking to teens online, which honestly is not that surprising. Like, I guess it's surprising, but I'm never surprised anymore because I feel like that's just happening every week now. It's some celebrity is talking to teens online. First it was Drake. Well, first it was probably a long time ago. I don't think Drake was the first person to talk to teens online, but Epstein, I guess, and then I guess he kind of paved the way for a lot of the big ballers out there.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that show To Catch a Predator?
I have.
Yeah. There's a lot of those guys.
A lot of Indian bros.
Yeah.
And they're always more shocked. Well, I think the funniest thing is when Chris Hansen goes in and it's one of those dudes and they don't even know, like they're not even aware what the problem is.
Yeah.
They're like, you didn't tell me your dad was going to be here. You do a killer Indian accent. I won't make you do it on the pod, but you do.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So let's get into the interview segment of the podcast. So pretty much Bo and me have known each other for our entire lives. And then you moved out here. You went to college in a bunch of different places. What? Ole Miss, UVM.
Mm-hmm.
Denver,
Community College of Denver.
Now you're all around Denver.
Go City Hawks.
Go Seahawks.
City Hawks.
Go City Hawks, of course. That's an awful mascot. City Hawks. They may as well just call you guys like the City Slickers.
Yeah.
But so yeah, and then you got a bunch of weird jobs. You did you were a fly fishing guide in Alaska, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Tell us about that. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah, I would love to. So for that,
We're almost done. We're already over halfway.
Okay, nice. I'll make this short then.
Well, no, make it long. Make it real.
Okay.
Go into deep detail.
Well, it was a dark night. And
no, don't go into that big of detail.
No.
Oh, I got a question about that. So when you're out in the woods like that, because you were out there, how many people were you with? How many people were you working with? And you were really remote. Like you had to take a Cessna and then a helicopter to get to the location?
No, you could just take a Cessna there.
Oh, nice.
How'd it go?
We're still podding.
Yeah, we're
still getting after it. We're almost done though. We got like 12 minutes left. So you had to take a Cessna.
It was out in the woods, about hour and a half plane ride in a Cessna from Anchorage, in the south central area of Alaska in the woods on the Talachalitna River.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was with about myself and 6 to 8 other people.
Was it all dudes?
For the most part, yes, except the cook, the 2 cooks, and the house cleaner were women.
How old were
And
they?
my boss's wife.
Oh, and your boss's wife. Do they live out there?
My boss's wife, part-time, you can't really live there in the winter just because it's so cold and
Snow.
everything's covered in snow, and the river freezes over. They do use the river as a highway pretty much via snowmobiles when
In the
it freezes
winter?
over. Yeah, which is quite cool.
Damn, that's sick. So when you do that, do people go back to Anchorage at all? Because I forget where I heard it. I heard somewhere someone was talking about that when all the dudes that like live in Alaska and fish in the woods of Alaska, apparently there's like one strip club in Anchorage. And apparently, like every week, it just floods with a bunch of fishermen who haven't seen a lady in months.
I mean, it's a similar lifestyle to that of someone who might work out at sea because
Yeah, I was thinking about that Walter Mitty scene.
yeah, you've got nowhere to spend your money for months at a time, but you're making good money, and then all of a sudden, like a sailor would come into port, you do that, you get into a city and blow your load.
There he is.
In 2 different ways. Yeah.
King of the jokes. So, yeah, that's pretty sick. Because I remember, you were out there. You're only out there with like 6, 7 other people for 3 months straight.
Yeah, and it's really just luck of the draw. So hopefully you get along with them, and thankfully we had a great crew.
Could you abandon ship if you really wanted to? Like if you were out there and say you really like you weren't getting along. I know you did get along with the people that you're with, but if you were out there and like say it was a bad group of people and they're beating the shit out of you every night, they're hanging you from the flagpole, wedgie, like cartoon bullying you, like old school bullying you, swirlies every night. Could you hypothetically be like, guys, I got to get out of here. This is not for me.
Yeah, but in that hypothetical situation, it sounds like they would be the ones keeping you there.
Yeah, true. They probably wouldn't let you leave. It'd be more of a cult at that point.
Logistically, it would be very difficult to find a ride from outside of the lodge to come get you.
Yeah, because so if you quit, like if they fired you, they would definitely take you back to Anchorage.
If you quit or you got fired, they'd fly you out of there.
But if you quit and it's like they got to spend a bunch of gas money to fly you out and then fly back, is that coming out of your paycheck?
That I don't know. But I mean, you would have people coming in and out of the lodge delivering fuel. I remember some nights I'd be in my cabin, and at 11 o'clock at night when the sun is still out, you'd have a turbine Beaver, which is a huge plane for Cessna sizes, have a huge turban beaver come and land on the runway and wake everyone up and unload fuel in the middle of the night, pretty much.
So you'd have to wake up and go unload the fuel?
Yeah, but you would know that someone's coming in, and you definitely hear them land because those planes are really loud.
Damn. So it sounds like you're working on like a fucking military base.
No, I mean,
just in the middle of the night, and you start hearing planes landing outside you, and they're like, "Fuel!
Yeah,
everybody up!" Is there like do they have like an intercom system where they could contact everybody, or was it all just like walkie-talkies and shit?
Yeah, we all had radios, so just communicating through radios, and a lot of times I'd be, my cabin was right on the runway, so I'd have to talk to the pilots and give them the wind status, whether we had there's either a north or southern wind usually, and let them know so they can land against the wind.
That's pretty badass. Would you ever do that again? Would you ever go back out to Alaska, or now you think you're done with that?
Yeah, I'd love to go back to Alaska.
But not for that long of a period of time?
I mean, I'm always open to it. It was good money. It was a good experience. Alaska's an incredible place. But right now it's not really in my priorities. I feel like I'm being this is like a
it feels like a job
interview.
That's what this feels like. And would you ever go back to Alaska? Right now, it does not feel like it's in my priorities. So you went to Alaska, you went to Wyoming for a little bit. Anyone that's listened to the podcast for a while, that was like one of the first episodes when we talked about the ranch. And I was so nasty about it. And I feel bad about it. Because now it's awkward because I was really nasty about it. And then I have to come here and talk and see all those people.
Yeah, a lot of them are ranch people.
Yeah, which they're all good people. I was just a young fool trying to make my way in the podcast scene.
All my friends thought that episode was hilarious.
Yeah, except I was banned forever, wasn't I? Or was that
I
a
don't
joke?
know about that. Yeah,
you sent me a photo that said no Barstool employees allowed. Like I think the company, I don't think like Dave Portnoy could go to that ranch. I think everyone's banned.
I don't really quite remember.
I fucked it for everybody, which I feel bad about, and I wanted to issue an apology about that. But so you did that for a while, and that was kind of the stepping stone to Alaska.
Yeah, that's when I really got into fly fishing, and I wanted something new. I wanted a new adventure, so I went to Alaska.
But you did stuff in between then, like you worked at Orvis in between there, and that's when you met the world famous Tom Rosenbauer.
Yeah, I met Tom.
Big takeaway from that.
Know Tom?
I'm sure some of our listeners know Tom. I'd assume almost all of them don't. And I would assume almost all of them don't care.
Yeah.
About fly fishing. But like every now and then I'll get a message and it'll be something about fly fishing. But no, I'd assume none of them know Tom Rosenbauer. Mm. But your big takeaway from meeting Tom was that he's very short in person.
Yeah, he's much shorter than I expected, which is quite fitting because I see him as just kind of like a river troll.
Yeah, kind of just
like
pops out.
Lord of the Rings character.
Yeah.
But yeah, very pleasant man. Pleasure to meet him.
Yeah, so that's good. I mean, we're at 25 minutes. Let's see if we got anything else left in us. This is going fine. This is going pretty well for your first pod. Thanks. I mean, this is like, it was either this. I called Francis in panic and I was like, I don't know what to do. And he said either best of or this. So maybe we'll do like 30 minutes of best of, 30 minutes of, put this at the end. Save it for the
How long is an episode typically?
The minimum is usually an hour, but sometimes we'll do an hour and a half. Sometimes we'll do 2 hours. We got to bank a lot of episodes lately because everyone's traveling so much. Roan is in Japan right now, which is sick. He's in Tokyo, I believe, which we talked about that more in depth in the Lost episode that will maybe come out eventually because it's recorded and it was a good episode. But yeah, Roan, he spent all of his sky miles and he's flying first class to Tokyo. That's the one. Those are the ones where you have like you have a room to yourself.
Wow, yeah.
You ever fly one of those? When you flew first class from Iceland, how was that nice?
Yeah, it was lovely.
Was that a bed? Did you have a bed?
It was Delta One, yep. So the seats reclined all the way, and really just first class service.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
I
really
wish.
great.
I flew first class on the way here, and it was a nightmare, disaster. TV the size of an iPhone didn't work. I played Balloons Tower Defense for 5 hours straight,
Yeah.
which was just it was a good blast from the past. I almost opened up addictinggames.com, to be honest.
Is that still around?
It's got to be. Addicting Games, and then they probably got, what was the good game on Addicting Games? Was it Hitman? Is that what it was called?
I played a lot of them.
Still? Actively?
Oh, yeah.
There's no way. you got to be I would love to meet someone who's still logging on. It's probably someone who works in like a cubicle, and they're probably just popping that shit on every now and then.
Yeah, I imagine.
Just getting addicting.
Addictinggames.com. Yeah, that's it. This is just an ad for Addicting.
I don't think Addicting Games is running ads anymore. I bet that website's probably down. Look at this river.
Yeah, we just got the Nature Channel on our TV.
We got the Nature Channel on, just kind of just getting a glimpse of what it's gonna be like for the next 7 days. Yeah. Any fears? What are your biggest fears for this next week in Wyoming? This is gonna come out while we're in the middle of Wyoming.
Oh, okay. I fear not catching fish.
Yeah, that's not even like within my top 30 fears. I meant more fears of like death and pain.
No, I'm pretty confident in our team.
Are you worried about, because I would say my biggest fear, other than like, I'm not really worried about bears. Mountain lions is always somewhat of a fear of mine. Mine's more my mind, and my mind being my biggest predator, is that I'm going to lose my shit at some point.
I think you'll be surprised how at ease and happy you feel out there.
Well, I mean, I've been in the woods before. I guess I just haven't been for that long of a period of time. It's weird for me not being able to go on my phone for a week straight, because I am that's my entire life is on my phone.
I think you'll really appreciate the simplicity of just trying to catch fish and then cooking dinner and just being out there.
Playing some cards,
yeah.
Just getting absolutely loco on the card table.
Yeah. Hopefully Peters and I can beat you.
Yeah, it seems to be a reoccurring thing, as I'm better at cards than everybody. But also I just know the way. And if I explain to you guys my method of the card game, that we play this game Dutch, which is there a more popular, because I feel like every time you name a card game, people are like, oh, you mean spoons. Like there's always you explain it to them and they always have a different name for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I only know it by Dutch, but it's a great game.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll play a bit of that. But yeah, in terms of fears, I'm not really.
Because there's going to be a blowout at some point. There's going to be a fight where someone cries, maybe. It could be brought to tears. I mean, I was talking to, or I said this on the last episode, but because Francis was asking me about if we get in arguments or fights. And I was like, we never get in fights. Like, we're never like, I'm like, drop your bag down. Like, let's brawl. But we got in the Hitler argument in Iceland on the last night, where we debated if Hitler was a genius or not for like 4 hours straight.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, we definitely get into passionate arguments, but never come to blows.
But we've never been on a trip this long before where we were just in the woods the whole time. So we don't really know. Like, it could come to blows, which it wouldn't at this point. Maybe in Iceland it would have, because you probably had 40 less pounds of muscle on your body at that point. So I think I could have had a chance then, but right now, you could knock me out in one punch cold instantly.
I don't know.
Bro, you don't got to be shy. You don't got to be shy about your mass that you've captivated in the last year.
Thank you. But no, I don't have too much fear. My fears are not catching enough fish. The rain. I hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't rain. I don't think it's gonna rain though. The weather says it's not going to.
Yeah, I just hope for good weather, good conditions.
Peters, what would your biggest fears be? No, nothing. He's made it very clear he does not want to be a part of this podcast.
Peters is the one you guys should really be asking about.
Me and Peters, actually, we have a long history of content together that a lot of people don't know about. It probably is 8 years ago. I had when we used to stream, I had 11,000 followers on Twitter, and we would stream Fortnite. I think it was mostly Fortnite for one dude, and it would be the same dude every single time, and he would donate. He would send like $5, and I'd be like, "Thanks for the donations, chat." even though it's just one guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I was talking like it was thousands of people. And I would have to force Peters to turn his microphone on because he wouldn't want to record. But so this isn't his first rodeo. He knows what it's like to be in the scene. He's also, I mean, he's on the road with me constantly.
Yeah, he's kind of your road dog.
Yeah, kind of just like a green room guy. Great for the hang. I mean, absolutely unbelievable hang with this guy.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun in the green room, I gotta say.
Yeah, you guys came to when me and Francis did Comedy Works, Denver.
Yeah, that was great.
And that was a good time. It was
Looking
good
forward
vibes.
to doing that again.
Well, I mean, it was obviously it was fun for you guys. You guys just got unlimited beer and just got to sit on the couch.
Yeah.
It's not as fun when you're pacing around the entire time going, they're going to fucking hate me. I suck. And then you hear Francis doing a little better than you. And then I turn to you guys and I'm like, well, did he do better than me? Be honest. Did he do better than me?
I thought you guys both did really well. And Mook as well.
Oh, yeah. I forgot Mook was there too. I haven't seen Mook in a while.
Yeah, I'd love to get the boys back together.
We got to get that crew back together. But we can wrap it up. We're at 33 minutes. I don't know if people will listen to this, if they'll enjoy. I don't even know if this is going to come out, but if it does, it does. And thank you guys for listening. I'm going to be in Austin, Texas in July 12th and 13th, I believe, Friday and Saturday at the Vulcan Gas Company. So go get tickets to that at littlesasquatchwebsite.com. Bo, do you have anything you would like to plug?
Yeah, I'd love to give out a shout out. I just have one shout out to this really great website. You guys should check out. It's called The Life You Can Save.
Bro.
I won't say too much about it, but it's Peter Singer, this really great guy, started it. And it's just a really effective way for you to donate a few bucks a month if you
what are you donating to?
It's a variety of different charities around the world where you can make your dollar be as effective as possible. It's a team of researchers that find the most effective and productive charities in the world, and you can select charities or they can select them for you, and you can just donate a few bucks a month and it can make a big difference. So that's thelifeyoucansave.org.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back with another episode next Tuesday. Happy 4th of July. Goodbye.